My name is Elizabeth Sung.
And I'm Tenzin Kira.
And we're both grade 12 students from Etobicoke College Institute and part of the first chapter of NGN.
Our proposal to target NGN goals: 1. Eliminate hunger, 4. Eliminate and prevent poverty, 14. Heal the land,
and 20. Engage and empower youth in community development to start the Global Youth Waste Organization in order to educate our next generation on sustainability and implement our plans to reduce global waste.
Number 1, request to our judges.
So we request you to take on the roles of store managers, such as manager of food basics / no-frills, so you will be able to better assist us in accumulating food compost to get started on our project.
The benefits of supporting our organization. You get 30% of our revenue while financially supporting the organization. The revenue will be coming from selling half of the harvested vegetable or fruits from our garden and $20 per bag containing the food.
And then you will be able to possess 20% of the ownership, and the remaining 80% will be owned by us.
The store logo will be put beside our foundation/campaign logo to indicate and thank the store for aiding our project. Number 2, accumulate statistics. We asked students in high school to do our survey, and we'll be using our statistics throughout our presentation.
So 3, financing. So not much money will be spent in running this project. And in order to begin our project to start off in Canada, we plan to rent a community garden like the Perth Dupont Community Garden that is located in Toronto.
Some of the money that we will be spending in accomplishing our goals are purchasing a community garden, approximately $20, purchasing vegetable and fruits or seeds, and paper bags, which can all vary in amounts, but we said about $40 and $100 per. It might be more if we buy from a sustainable source.
And for the remaining half of the revenue, we will be selling half of the harvested vegetable and fruits to people, which will be $20 per bag.
So our problem definition would be: there's an unnecessary amount of waste in everyday lives, people have unsustainable habits, a lack of education on the seriousness of global waste, a lack of education and funds on proper waste management.
So how has global waste been affecting our environment? Global waste has been a big issue for a very long time. The accumulation of global waste has contaminating our oceans, creating air pollutions, causing respiratory infections, and been transmitting diseases, creating harmful consequences overall.
Unfortunately, there has not been much action in reducing global waste. Not only that, but not many people are aware of this issue and how much impact it makes on our world. Especially with the upcoming generation, there's an increasing concern about global warming and the sustainability of resources for our future generations.
So according to the world count, about 64 million people are affected by global waste, making them become more prone to developing serious health threats.
So what about the next generation? Many people do not know about the effects of global waste, and many wasteful habits can be fixed. People need to be educated on the effects of global waste and how to be sustainable. Now, on the right, as you can see, we asked the question: do you believe in the topic of global waste is talked about often? For example, in schools, media, discussions, and the majority of people said no.
So our first target, our organization will not only focus on spreading awareness, but will also focus on converting food waste into compost for fair use. We plan to collect food waste such as expired food from grocery stores to make compost for gardening purposes. And in this way, we can plant vegetables and fruits to distribute to those in need of a food charity to prevent hunger.
How? For example, France banned grocery stores from disposing unsold food in 2017. This made them donate to charities such as food banks. We would like to start off to petition for Canada to do this as well, our regions in Canada. And once our petitions gain more attention, we would like to speak to government officials, perhaps local government officials, and then from there ask to partner with local markets or restaurants with their waste disposal systems.
So our second target, we have asked people if you people think that your school handles waste disposals properly, and the majority of people answered no. So our second target, schools. So in terms of the TDSB school board, the compost system in schools are not properly conducted, and many food waste are thrown into garbage. So we want to start a petition for schools to have better composting systems and start to use compostable utensils slash packagings, which can be a stepping stone for reducing global waste.
So for the next generation, we want to start educating students about the benefit of composting, recycling, and educate them on how long garbage sits in landfills and the harmful effects of global waste. And for the younger generation, like the younger kids, we would like field trips to the garden where they can experience how to plant and how to compost, and we can teach them also.
So how to encourage proper recycling and compost? So many people probably might not have an idea of how to start properly recycling and composting. So at schools, we want to create effective posters and start recycling clubs and have compost bins in classes as mandatory, and also create a social media platform to inform about global waste for our schools, and also start a petition for schools to use compostable utensils.
Did you know that garbage and recycling can contaminate other recyclables, and this can make recyclables unrecyclable? And to sort these out, this can take more time and effort to remove. It can be dangerous as well and cost more money. We need to make what goes in what more accessible to people and publicize it in advertisements or posters or on our social media page for the younger generation.
We have asked people to please rank the following. Which of the following challenges should be handled first? 1 being most important and 4 being least important. And many answered as empower youth and community development should be the least important, whereas the heal, eliminate, and prevent hunger should be the most top priority.
So our tentative schedule. So this is just how our month's laid out. In March, we plan to create a social media page, promote our organization, gather data for homeless shelters, and our goal would be to reach at least 500 plus followers on our social media page.
So in the month of April, we want to approve if we could distribute the homeless shelters, so we can distribute bags of food, and also approve which stores can possibly distribute food compost to us.
And in May, we would like to rent a community garden and start growing fruits and vegetables there.
Between June and July, we want to continue promoting our organization / global waste by continuing to promote through our social media and start harvesting planted vegetables and fruits and distribute them to the shelter and sell the remaining half to gain revenue.
If COVID-19 doesn't get better and we still cannot meet in person, for 2021, our goals would be to promote social media page to schools and reach out to other small startups that we can partner up with, and also, again, gather data on homeless shelters and start our petitions and perhaps a GoFundMe for future projects.
So at the end of 2021, we still want to promote through our social media about the global waste in our organization, but also reach 10K signatures on our petition.
And after COVID, once we can all meet together, or once COVID gets a little better, we'd like to rent the community garden and work on growing the garden and getting volunteers to work on it and also educate them on it, and talk to government officials once our petitions gain more attention.
Conclusion. So overall summary, essentially we want to focus our projects to eliminate hunger and prevent poverty by creating a sustainable future and reducing the accumulation of global waste by informing youths for a better generation, and also by helping those in need of food, which will help to bring our society together as one, and also by informing about global waste, we will be able to prevent any damage done to our planet.
And we strongly believe that our organization can create a sustainable future and reduce the overall accumulation of global waste. And thank you for listening to our presentation proposal. And now, any questions you guys may have?
Okay, thank you for the presentation.
Thank you.
One of the question is, so the policy change that you are asking for, like, like what was the amount you had asked for? Like, was there any specific amount of funding that you were looking for?
Sorry, could you repeat that question?
Did you have any specific amount of funding that you were looking for the policy change and those things for your project? What was the funding amount?
We didn't have a set amount of funding because
we don't think our organization requires that much money. I feel like we get some donors and we don't need that much money to start off, but we're just thinking around $1,000 to begin with for supplies for the garden. And if the garden can't be made during COVID, we probably wouldn't need that much money at this current time.
Okay.
Thank you. You raised a lot of ideas for different steps that could be taken around education and practical steps. If you could only do one of the ideas that you proposed, what do you think would be most impactful?
So we will most definitely choose preventing hunger, as our project is mainly revolved around getting food compost from the grocery stores and converting that to compost in order to start planting vegetables and fruits to distribute to those in need. And so that will be our prime goal.
We probably want to start our petition, as France has also eliminated, stopped supermarkets from completely getting rid of their food or unsold food or throwing it out at compost, and instead donating those to charities. So we would like to petition to start off, as we're from Canada, to ban grocery stores and supermarkets from disposing unsold foods as well.